Hi. You must be new here. Let me guess. You got a fun little present over the holidays? Maybe a little wholesome, sparkly, exciting? Congratulations on your engagement. I'm so excited you're here. If you're new here, my name is Jamie Wolfer. I'm your online wedding planner. I've been doing this for years, and I'm here to walk you through it. Because you probably had that elation moment where you're like, yes, this is so exciting. And then it dawned on you that you actually have a wedding to plan, and you don't know what to do or where to start. Well, the good news is I've got an entire channel here just chock full of videos that can totally help you out. But before we go any further, I need you to do something real quick. Go down there and hit subscribe. Because if you just got engaged, like you are just dipping your toes into this, I put out videos every single week. I'm here to help you. So like before we panic, I feel like I'm talking to a caged animal. It's okay. Everything's fine. You should go subscribe. Okay? I will hold your hand and I will walk you through this, and you're going to have a kick booty wedding day. Mom swear words. Okay? Go subscribe. Right now. In today's video, we're going to walk through all of the beginning steps that you need to do the second you get, well, not the second you get engaged. Like, you should live in the moment for a little bit, right? And like, do the post to social media if you want to do that. Like the staring at it, and I say this every time I make a video like this, but I say it because it's so accurate. The sunlight that hits your ring when you're in your car and your hand is atop your steering wheel and the disco ball that it creates on your ceiling, you're probably going to crash. Because you're staring at it all the time, but also you don't care. Like, what a way to go out. You know what I mean? Because you're just like, I can't stop staring at it. But sooner or later, you're going to actually have to plan this thing. But don't worry, we're going to go through all of the initial steps together. So without further ado, let's just jump right on into it. Now, this is going to be very similar to videos I've done in the past. If you remember them or you recall those videos, you are a very good student of this channel, okay? But every once in a while, we have to do a little reboot ski to remind the people that I'm still relevant, okay? I still got it, I think. Don't tell me if I don't. The first thing that you are going to want to do is set a budget. I must admit right here and right now that I have not effectively explained this step, possibly ever. And you're like, Jamie, that's a really bad thing because you've been creating content for years now. I know. Here's the deal. There's like budget the number and then budget the breakdown. And I use the term budget for both of those interchangeably. And I don't ever really sit down and clarify like, this is what I mean by that and this is what I mean by that. In fact, I had someone who like stitched me somewhere on some platform. Gosh, I'm still relevant. Don't worry about it. Saying that they actually disagreed with me, that they think that people should research before setting a budget. Okay, here's what setting a budget looks like. Look at your account. That's the number. Or if you have people contributing to it, you know, family members, friends, etc. Get all of those numbers together. And if you need to talk to family about money, I actually have like a little download that you can go to right here to kind of ease the pain of this entire situation, because sometimes people just get weird. We get weird around finances. The people around us get weird about finances. So if you need a little direction and guidance, it's called our Hard Money Talks download. Just kind of walk you through. You need to come up with your big grand number that you have to spend. Now, this number could be flexible, right? You could be like, I've got a range from $15,000 to $20,000. Some of you are like, that's not enough. And some of you are like, you have $20,000 to spend on this thing? Don't worry, we talk about all budgets here on this channel. We don't budget shame. In fact, I've done videos for 5K, 10K, 15K weddings, you name it. We love a good budget around here. So don't be embarrassed and don't be shy about it, okay? But the first thing you have to do is you have to figure out what your grand total is that you can spend, even if it's flexible. Then, after you do that, is when you create a budget. Get your budget number and then tell that money what it's going to do. There's a lot of ways that you can do this. I have videos about it here on this channel. If you want the most fast-tracked way to doing that, though, I recommend coming to join me in the master plan, which is where I get to actually be your online wedding planner. I give you all the materials that I walk my long-term planning clients through. I'll link right here if you're interested. I also do live monthly calls with the clients over there to walk them through everything, anything, any questions that you have. I'm there for an hour every single month to break those down with you. So if you're just getting into this and you're like, oh, I'm immediately overwhelmed, that is a great way to streamline things. So in the master plan, I have an entire breakdown for what you should be doing with that budget. With all of these glorious formulas, if you're a spreadsheet person, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. They're so good with so many if-then statements. Chef's kiss, okay? So good. Where you can track your payments, you can get down to specific line items if you want to, or if that overwhelms you, you just collapse that little section right there and just stick to the basics. But you absolutely need to figure out how much to allocate to each category. And then at that time, I recommend starting to reach out to some vendors to get some initial quotes to see if your big number that you turned into a budget breakdown is even practical. For example, with a $10,000 budget, you're probably not going to want to be spending $7,000 on your venue alone, because that leaves you very little to work with, right? But you might find that a lot of venues in your area have high ticket prices. So you want to it's this little bit of dance back and forth. So get the big number, do the breakdown, and then see if it's practical. And if you want to do a specific budget breakdown with me, come join the master plan. I do budget breakdowns with people in there all the time. I can help you put yours together, especially if you're like, I don't know where to put this money or what to do with this, or it's wacky, or someone's offering this service for free, or, when it starts to get a little confusing, I'm there for live support on that if you need that. But you want to know the number one budget killer? It's your guest count. If you think about what the person's sitting in, the table they're sitting at, the tablecloth, the centerpiece, the plate, the fork, the knife, the cup, the napkin, the food, the dessert, the drinks, the ice, all the things that you have that are based on your head count, your guest count for your event. If you have 300 people, it's going to be a lot more expensive than if you have 100 people. There is going to be fluctuation there. So as you're putting together this guest list, which I recommend taking your time to do this. I remember when we did it, we put it all together. I was like, boom, we're done. It's great. It's golden. 2 weeks later, I realized I forgot some very important people in my life. So let this be a process of putting this together. Now, sometimes putting together a guest list, sometimes, for the most part, putting together a guest list is very stressful for a lot of people. So if that's you, don't worry. I do have an entire video talking about guest list do's and don'ts right here to kind of help you figure out who you should invite, who you shouldn't invite. Also, I have a bunch of videos put into a playlist called Just Engaged Start Here that I will also link right here if I've given myself enough time between that card, the previous card, and this card, and in the description box down below for you to take a look at because it walks you through the whole process. So now that we know generally how much money we have to work with, we know generally how many people we're going to invite, it's a good idea to start firming up a date or a handful of dates or a season within which you want to get married. So for example, if you want a fall wedding, maybe have a couple weekend dates available for September and October. Now, if you are firm on your date, it will possibly increase the difficulty in booking a venue within your price range, within the allotted amount of time that has all the amenities that you have. So if you have flexibility, I highly recommend it, even if you just want to aim for a certain season here. So now we have all the information that you need to go start looking for venues. Your overall budget, how much you can dedicate towards the venue, your guest count, and the general season within which you want to get married. And inevitably, whenever we talk about booking a venue, people go, how far in advance should you be booking your venue? Haha, well, if only you had a handy-dandy checklist that told you when everything's supposed to be done. You guessed it. Right here. It's the ultimate free wedding planning checklist. It literally has links to videos that you need to be watching at different stages. So organized and so great. It's like a fraction of it's literally one thing that we offer from the master plan that we offer to you guys as a freebie. See if you like it, see if it helps you out. And of course, if you want to join from there, we highly recommend it. And if not, at least you have literally the best online checklist out there. I'm not biased. Okay, just excited. Because generally speaking, and again, we're going to speak in generalities, okay? Because no wedding planning process is cookie cutter. So we look at windows, all right? We're like time frames where you can kind of like scrub back and forth a little bit. Generally speaking, the industry suggests that you book your venue anywhere from 12 to 18 months in advance. But if you just got engaged this holiday season and you're looking at October of this year, you're like, my wedding doesn't fit that. Just shuffle everything around just a little bit. It's gonna be okay. People have planned weddings in a very short time frame. I know there's a really big scarcity mindset out there. And also, of course, you could be deeply affected where you live. There might not be a lot of venue options, so you feel like you really have to get on this as quickly as possible. But I promise you, you're gonna get married. Okay? I promise you it's gonna happen. You might need to adjust your date. You might need to adjust your budget. You might need to adjust your expectations. You will find a place. You will be wed. It's gonna be okay. Don't let the industry scare you into thinking if you don't book it 12 months in advance, your nuptials will never happen, okay? And that's where things get swirly. Okay? When you start to kind of put all these together and you realize the administrative detail that's required and everything that's associated with that, you start to think, I get why there's professionals for this. Like, I understand why wedding planners exist, right? And you start to think, maybe I should look into the cost of those, which I highly recommend. If you have the room in your budget, there's a reason we do what we do, okay? We're really good at it. I'm just really full of myself today, aren't I? There's a reason that wedding planners exist. They ease stress. They help you to save money. I know a lot of them are pretty spendy. Okay, I'm aware of that. But they also can help you to realize what you should spend on and what you shouldn't spend on. And honestly, they probably have a ton of really great vendors right in their back pocket that are perfect for your budget, known as their preferred vendors as well. There's a lot of merits to hiring a wedding planner. It's going to make your process for planning your wedding astronomically easier, where you just get to pick the fun stuff and they get to do a lot of heavy lifting and you can just sit back and enjoy the process. But like I said, wedding planners are expensive, so they're not going to be for everybody. I totally get that. Instead, there's a lot of alternative options out there, which I love about wedding planning in this day and age. You can do consultation phone calls, which I offer, by the way. If you ever just want to jump on a 30-minute phone call with me or a 60-minute phone call, I can help you plan your wedding. Like, I love doing those. Those are really, really fun. Or you can find someone that's local to you, message them or call them and say, hey, I would love to book a consultation hour with you, which would be smart because they're going to know vendors in your area. But then you have the really great benefit of hiring someone with local expertise and knowledge that could help you kind of narrow down your search, hone in your budget, and find really good vendors for you, hopefully in that consultation time. Another great option that you can do instead of or in tandem with consultation hours is to hire a month of coordinator. A lot of people will also use the term day of coordinator interchangeably. Usually no one just shows up on your day and like throws everything together. You meet with them once or twice before your wedding. So we prefer the term month of because it's far more accurate. But if you hear those used, they're basically the same exact thing. Bonus points if you can have your month of coordinator be the person who gives you consultations earlier in the year or earlier in your engagement. So that way they already know what they've told you. They've supported you a little bit along the way. You got great vendors out of it. They get to work with great vendors on your wedding day. This is a really beautiful symbiotic relationship where you just get a little bit of help every once in a while, as opposed to more full-blown planning. That takes a special breed to like this, to love this, to do this. I personally love consultations. I love styling planning packages like that. I'm totally down to do it. Some planners might not be as into it, so feel free to keep looking around. If you are looking for a wedding planner that I have personally trained, I have a whole list of them. I'll leave it right here. It's called the Union Network. So they've basically gone through this mastermind with me where I've taught them how to be incredible wedding planners and run really fantastic businesses that all have a heart for making sure couples have the most stress-free day possible in beautiful, elegant, fun, charming, exciting ways. So if you are on the hunt for either a long-term planner, consultation hours, or even just a month of coordinator near you, check out the Union Network. I sound like an infomercial. I just love them. I love them so much. And these perfect angel baby nuggets have worked so hard in building their companies to be incredible planners for you. So I highly recommend you check them out. Last, worst case scenario, you're like, boom, can't afford it. Boom, can't afford it. Boom, can't afford it. I'll do that way. Can't afford it. Master plan, $29 a month. It's really hard to argue with those numbers because it's literally me giving you online support, telling you exactly what you need to do and when you need to do it, live phone call support, etc., to make sure you get this thing done as stress-free as possible. But also, worst case scenario, if you're like, I can't even do $29 a month or I'm simply not interested, don't worry. There's like hundreds of videos on this channel. I'm sure you'll find some answers. But I do want to emphasize the importance on becoming educated when it comes to wedding planning because you are learning something new. You've never planned anything like this. And so you got to figure out kind of what the normal system is. And then you can pick and choose what traditions you want, which ones you want to keep or get rid of, or kind of turn on its head and do something fun or different that really describes you and your fiance really well. But you got to figure out how this whole wedding planning thing works. And you're going to find it out either through friends and family, giving suggestions, Pinterest, TikTok's got advice. Some of it's good. Long form content here on YouTube. Obviously, I have years of worth of videos here, or something a little bit more personalized, a little bit more catered to you as you take a step into the paid category from a monthly subscription like the master plan or all the way up to a long-term wedding planner. So whether it's Pinterest or a partial planning package with your local wedding planner, you're gonna probably want to figure something out just to make sure that you are staying on the right track and getting all the stuff done that you need to get done. So, key takeaways, big wrap up. Here we go. Grand finish. First of all, congratulations. I'm so excited for you. I wish you could share pictures of your ring down below. If you want, you can go over to Instagram. Wolfer & Co. is our handle over there, and you can send me pictures of your ring there because I know it's so exciting, and sometimes you just need someone to just squeal with you a little bit. So feel free to DM me a picture of that because I would be not mad at all. Second of all, get that big number, okay? Then we're going to tell that big number what it's going to do with a good quality budget breakdown. You're going to create your guest list, select a range of dates you want to go for, and select your venue. You're then going to want to decide how are you getting educated during this time. Are you going to just offer family and friends, advice from vendors? Do you want to go a little bit more professional in capacity? Do you want it to be directly from a wedding planner, whether that be online, subscription-based, or hiring an actual planner? So that's what we have for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, I've already loaded all the stuff I talked about down in the description box below if you want to check those out. I highly recommend, if nothing else, just download that checklist. That is going to be one of the ultimate tools that you could be using during this wedding planning process to make sure you stay on track and you know exactly what you need to be doing when you need to be doing it. And also, if you haven't done so already, jump down there, hit that subscribe button so I can help you plan your wedding easily and stress less because you deserve a stress-free wedding day. Oh, and like the video if you like the video. And until next week, bye guys!